bottom line is that humanitarian programs in conflict zones or in a natural disaster, health programs and democracy building programs should not be used as a weapon to try to get human rights, because what you're doing, in fact, is compromising human. If you're dead, you don't have any human rights. A child that dies from malaria, 1.5 children died from malaria last year, or I'm sorry, not last year, 10 years ago, because we've reduced the rates dramatically. But tell the parents that the reason we cut the aid program for malaria is because we don't like their government. The kid's still dead. We stopped immunizing children from polio because we don't like the government. Tell the child that gets paralyzed that they're going to be paralyzed the rest of their life, but we're punishing their government by not doing polio vaccine programs because we don't think the government has a good record on human rights. It makes no sense to me. And the notion that we're supporting one area or another, I have to say that's a lot of baloney. A child is a child, and if the child doesn't get immunized against polio and they get polio, they're paralyzed, whichever province they're in. AID tries to do it equally all over all these countries. It doesn't have health programs to support one province over another because of the government insisting on it. We insist on equity when we do these programs. The health programs are targeted based on need. There's a whole formula, mathematical formulas we'll use based on infection rates for diseases, for example. Those should never be subject to used as a sanction or a weapon. Now, we should not be providing budget support in countries with abusive governments. I think we need to say, I'm sorry, this is one of the conditions that if you want money to go through your, even in small amounts, through your treasury, then you are going to have to comply with international standards and human rights. I would support that. But I think for civil society, democracy building programs, disaster relief, which is, by the way, the law anyway. It's been the law for 50 years that we do not allow, we have a notwithstanding clause in all disaster relief. And then the health programs, they should be cordoned off. The rest of it should be nuanced based on the country and try an incremental approach, not trying to capsize the entire society. We want gradually to improve the human rights situation so it's permanent, it's not temporary.